The next component we're going to look at are doors. So open the build panel. Beside wall, we have the door tool. So if we select our door tool, again, you'll see our contextual tab will appear. The green tab at the top. We have our panels here. First is the mode, which is the load family. Again, that load family will just bring us into the library on our common drive. Model in place isn't something we're going to cover in this course. And last is the tag on placement. So every time we place a door, it will automatically tag each door. Tagging is something we'll cover later on in this course. The options bar there is referring to our tags. So this is how we can manipulate our tags. So if we go over to our properties palette, first thing we have our type selector, and by default we have two doors loaded into the project. First one is an external door type. The second is an internal door type, simply represented by EXT for external and INT for internal. In the properties palette itself, there's just some basic information about the constraints. So the sill height of the door, we want it to be 00, so it's on our ground floor level. The construction type, what materials and finishes are on that door. We can add in some comments about that door itself. We'll go into a lot more detail about this later on in our course. Here we can also specify our head height. So to get started, we're going to go to our type selector. We're going to select the 910 by 2110 door. So click, and we'll move into the drawing, and we're going to place our first door here on grid line C. So as you see, my cursor has the warning symbol because I cannot place a door randomly in the project. Doors as well as windows must be hosted on a wall. Certain components must be hosted on certain other components. Like when we put in lights, they'll only be hosted in ceilings. So if I hover my cursor over my wall, you'll see the door will appear. If I move my cursor below the wall itself, you'll see the door handing will change. And as well, to place it, if I go left and right, you'll see the temporary dimensions will change. So how close I want it to be to the adjacent partition. So again, on Revit, the best thing to do is just place it first and come back afterwards to adjust it. So now that the door is placed, if I click again to select it, you'll see we have our temporary dimensions, both sides. As well, we have two different flipping arrows. We can change the handing like so. So we're going to place each of the doors 200 from the adjacent partition. If we wanted to do some minor adjustments to the door position, we can use our arrow keys. So I'm just going left, right on the arrow keys on the keyboard. To be more accurate, use those temporary dimensions. So next, if you want to open up the 008 doors PDF, and we can start to place the door 910 by 2110 around our project. They're represented by the number 1. So we have two ways now we can go back to insert those doors. We can either select the door, use our create similar, or we can also use our door tool, and it's the last selected, so we can just go and place. It's best to just place the doors, and then afterwards we'll come back and adjust their position. So once we have all of those 910 doors placed, we'll then just place them more accurately. So yeah, 200. We'll need to flip this door. Again. So when I select this door and I flip it, you'll notice the temporary dimensions also flip. So to get the temporary dimension that I want, if I just press escape, select the door again, and then my correct temporary dimension will appear. We can do the same for here. We can also select it, use our mirror, pick axis and flip it to the other side. So now we have all of our 9-10 doors in the project.